Hey there, Lee Thurburn, and I want to tell you something about the real estate business that you might not know. Now, you may not know that back in the old days, I got my initial license. I got my license back in 1980. Back in those days, the old days, the way that the MLS system worked is it was all by printed books. So when you would go get a listing, you would take all the contract documents out, you'd sit down with a homeowner, you'd get the documents filled out, then you'd take a notepad and you'd go around the house and you'd check off all the boxes, take some pictures, and then you'd come back to your office and you'd compile all that information and key it into a very archaic MLS system. Then within the next 2 weeks, a book would be published. And if you'd gotten your data in time by the deadline, then you'd be in the next book. So that meant that if you didn't get your information in on the property you're listing within the right time frame, it could be as much as a month before the property got out in the MLS. So the MLS would print the books and deliver them to all the agents and all of the offices. And once they got the book, they'd go flipping through and looking at the new listings. And then they would search for properties that met certain criteria in terms of, it was a very laborious process. And so as the seller's listing agent, because it could be as much as a month and was probably for sure at least 2 weeks, so 2 to 4 weeks before the book came out, you had to do a lot of things. You had to get on the phone and call other agents and talk about your listings. You'd have to hold open houses. You'd have to put ads in the newspaper, all that kind of stuff. It was a lot of work. And it justified charging a 3% commission to list a house because there was a lot of work involved. Now, fast forward to today. The internet's been around. Everything is as automated as it can be. So let me tell you what the stages in a listing are. Okay, so first is the relationship building. Now that can take a lot of time because if you're going to have a $500,000 home and give a 3% commission to the listing agent, you're going to be giving that listing agent $15,000 of equity in your home. So you know what? You want to make sure you like that person because you're basically gifting them $15,000 for anywhere between 5 and 10 hours of work. So how does that add up, 5 to 10 hours of work? Well, let's just set aside all the time that they have to spend building the relationship with you so that you want to gift to them that $15,000. So what is it that a listing agent actually does? Okay, so there's contract preparation, which could take, say, 30 minutes. Okay, I'm going to be generous with the amount of time that it takes. If you know what you're doing, it doesn't take that long. There's listing contract preparation. There's data collection about the property that's going to be listed. There's the listing process. That means putting the data into the MLS. There's taking photographs, and then there's putting signs and lock boxes out on the property. So each one of those things is about 30 minutes. That's 5 things. That's about 2.5 hours of time. So once you've done that, then what happens is the MLS, you punch a button, you publish it, and the MLS sends that information to all of the other places. It sends it to Realtor.com and Zillow and Trulia and Ebby Halliday and Caldwell Banker and all the places that people go to look for homes. That information just automatically gets shot out, and they have that information on their search engine websites literally within hours or a day or so at the most. So as a listing agent, once you input the information into the MLS and click the publish button, things basically are completely automated. And then all you have to do as the listing agent is sit back and wait for buyer's agents to see the new listing and show it to people. Now, when they show it to people, hopefully contracts come in quickly, offers come in quickly, and there's a process of negotiating. And so each offer that comes in has to be considered and sort of ranked. And if you only have one offer and it takes a week or two to come in today's market, it might only take a few hours. But, if it only takes a week or two to come in, then when that offer comes in, you spend 30 minutes or an hour reviewing that offer with your client, the person selling their home. If there's multiple offers, then you rank them and you have conversations. And as they come in, you talk about them and you accept or reject or you negotiate. So negotiations of offers can take some time. It might take 2, 3, 4 hours. So let's say it takes another 3 hours, 2.5 hours up front, plus another 3 hours. You've got 5 hours, 6 hours as a listing agent invested in a particular property. and you're going to earn 3%. Well, that just doesn't make sense. Paying $15,000 for 5 hours of time, 6 hours of time, to me, it just doesn't make sense. And so what is appropriate? Well, what is appropriate is to offer alternatives to the listing process. And so I offer 3 alternatives. Now, I offer a 1% paid at closing, full service listing, just like any other agent. And it includes all kinds of things. It includes a great yard sign. It includes a super lockbox, the showing service. I come out and walk through the house and give you ideas on how to stage and how to prepare the house to get the maximum offer value for your home. I do all of those things, plus take some pictures. Now, I also offer, but I don't get paid. I get paid 1% at the closing. I offer a second option, which is a full service option, but there's a $3,000 payment. $999 up front and $1,999 at closing. It's a flat fee, full service offer listing, and I do everything that I would do for the 1%, but I just get paid partially up front, and you end up only paying a total of $3,000 by the time you go through closing. The third option is what's called a for sale by owner on the MLS. And this option is designed for people that have experience. They don't need me as an agent to come out and walk through and give you staging advice or house preparation advice, or you don't need a showing service. You're not going to have a yard sign. You're going to put your own for sale by owner yard sign up. I'm not going to put a lockbox on your house. I'm not going to come out and measure the rooms. You're going to do all those things because that's what a for sale by owner does when they list on the MLS. But I am going to be there to help you negotiate. Look, I've sold 2,200 homes. I've got a lot of negotiation experience, and I know how the process works. And I'm going to help you get the maximum value for your property. I'm in this to help you get the maximum value for your property. The question just is, do you want to do business the traditional way and pay a tremendous amount of your equity, or would you rather get the maximum return on the equity that you have in your property? Look, you have the option of, on a $500,000 home, paying $15,000 to an agent to list your home. You also have the option of paying about $1,300 to me to list your home. Now, what makes more sense to you? I am standing by, ready to help you get your home sold for the highest possible price to help you get the maximum equity out of the house. So let me know how I can help you. I'm ready to go. Thank you for watching.